Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Got a little treat in yesterday. Ordered another thing on Amazon. Amazon's going to be the death of me, man. Anyway, let's go check it out. Alright guys, here's our little package that we got in the mail yesterday from Amazon. Amazon is like my favorite thing these days. So, you remember in a previous video I told you about the 5 amp Variac that works well. It's this one here. You know, you take your take this and you plug it into the wall, and then you plug your implement that you want to use the transformer on, that you're wanting to control your voltage with, and you plug it into here. But this only takes a 5 amp fuse, so I can't work this much higher than about right in here, right around the 13 to 20 volt range, and it wants to blow fuses if I go much higher than that with this with my Lichtenberg burner. And we tried it on this. If you watched that one video I made, we tried it with the when I unboxed it, I tried it with the belt grinder, but that belt grinder pulls about 13 amps. So this one comes with 2 extra fuses, so we got a 20 amp Variac. And wow, this one's bigger. This one's got a little more size to it here. Guys, if I can get it up out of that box, it's heavy and it's a lot larger. Come on, baby, you can do it. Wow. This was like the daddy Variac. I can't get a grip on it with that bag on there. Let's see if we can. Wow, that's quite a difference. And this one's got 2 outlets on it here, and takes a 20 amp fuse. Now you can see the difference in the two. We got baby Variac and daddy Variac. This little Variac works great for my Lichtenberg burning, because I don't want to use a lot of juice on that anyway. But this one here should we should be able to adjust our speed on our belt grinder here, which I've really wanted to be able to do since I got the thing. As far as grinding blades and what have you, I can handle the speed of grinding a blade on that thing just fine. You know, different pressure, what have you. Slide it back and forth a little slower, faster, whatever you need to do to kind of compensate. But if I'm trying to grind some wood down or level up some scales or something like that, it's that one speed makes it pretty hard. You get into a finer grit belt. Now if you got a heavy grit, a 40 grit on here, and your grinding scales, it just chews the wood off and does a real good job. But when you get down to the finer grits where you want to kind of clean up, because inevitably you have to hand sand your scales to really get the finish that you want on them. We need to unplug this so we can plug it into the Variac. But you know, you want to do as little hand sanding as you have to, because let's face it, hand sanding is a pain in you know where. So it's nice to be able to get your scales as smooth as possible when you're shaping them. So here we go. We've got our Variac plugged in. We've got our belt grinder plugged into our Variac. Let's turn this, make sure this is turned all the way down. It is. Turn that on. We've got power. Our belt grinder is turned on, so we're getting power to the belt grinder. And let's see now. Let me bring you guys up here a little closer where you can kind of see the belt grinder here a little bit better. We'll move our Variac over here where you can see me turn it up, and let's give it some juice and let's see what it does. Okay, I can hear the motor humming. Look at that. Nice and slow. I mean, that's very slow. That right there is about 35 volts. There's 40. Check that out, huh? That's going to be so sweet for doing wood and stuff on there, or even some blades. You know, if you have a real fine edge you're putting on a thin blade, sometimes that thing's spinning on its own. It's just too fast, and it kind of wants to burn the edges of a fine edge blade. So being able to control that, now that's very nice. And I'm sure I can use this with the Lichtenberg also if I want to. I mean, I don't know why I couldn't. I mean, but we're not going to throw this other one away or anything. We're going to keep it around. But this small Variac also, when my brother bought it, he didn't notice that it's really not backed. I mean, you get what you get, and if it goes bad, you're just screwed. So we can't really send it back or anything. So like I say, it works great with the wood burning, with the wood turning. But this here, look at that. How cool is that? Let's grab a piece of wood here. Oh, it powers down pretty easily. What we're doing is we're cutting down the voltage going to this motor, and and so it slows the belt down. But this, I'm still not positive that this is going to work out the way we want it to, because I can kind of smell, and maybe that's just because it's new, but I can kind of smell that coil in there getting hot, and I can feel on this side here where we were turning it up to, you know, that there's a little heat coming out of there. So but I know we didn't get it anywhere near 20 amps, because you've got a little gauge right here on the front that tells you how many volts, you know, pretty much that you're running through there. But see, this is this motor here can be wired to 110 or 220. We've got it wired to 110. But what this does is cuts down the amount of voltage that the motor is getting, so it's running on less volts, which apparently not only controls the speed, but it controls the power too. So, but I think it's going to work out all right. Again, it controls the speed of the Variac. The Variac controls the speed of the belt really well. But when it's turned down this slow, I can stop it, because we're getting real low voltage to our motor. So max is going to be between 50 and 55, about 52 volts probably that we can turn this up to, because if you turn it up any higher than that, it starts kicking out. You can hear it. Listen, you'll hear the belt grinder motor kicking off. So there we're at 40, 45. There's 50. There's 55. Hear it kicking off and on. Turn it back down to about halfway between 50 and 55, and that stops. But it works, and we're not blowing fuses, so that's very nice. So, okay, boy, that thing is gigantic. It's monstrous compared to that other one, isn't it? So there that was, guys. The new Variac. Boy, it's twice the size of that little one, that 5 amp. So again, like I said in the previous video, if you're going to get a Variac for your Lichtenberg burner, don't get that little 5 amp, because you'll go broke buying fuses for it. So I'll probably use this bigger one. Of course, I've kind of figured out my range on that little one. As long as I stay down, like I say, around 13 to maybe 18 volts, it seems to do all right, and it gives me that nice slow burn that I need. But I'm sure this larger one I can burn a little hotter if I want to. I mean, it's 20 amp. The breaker out there is 20 amp. So all these plugs in here are running on a 20 amp breaker. So if I want to crank it up, I can, and not worry about blowing fuses left and right. So that's nice. It's nice to have options. And it wasn't ridiculously expensive. I paid $119 for the 20 amp Variac on Amazon. And it's a preferred item, so it's you know, it's backed and everything. And that's where my brother made the mistake when he bought that lighter one. First off, he didn't really pay any attention to how many amps it was. We should have done a little more research on that stuff because we just thought it was a Variac, you know what I mean? So live and learn. But I've got 2 of them now. The little one works great with the Lichtenberg burner, and the larger one does run the belt grinder, slows it down. I'm thinking more like just doing handle scales, and when I do the leather strop with that new leather 2x72 stropping belt that I have, that it runs too fast as it stands, just running the belt grinder the way it runs. So I can plug it into the Variac and turn it down to do my stropping and have that come out better. So just a little video, just quick like to show you another little present I got myself in the mail, and another addition to the shop. You can never have too many tools or toys in your shop. I'm telling you, I've got tons of crap and I want tons more. So anyway, there's that. There's this a new Variac, and it's a 20 amp, and I don't think we're gonna have to worry about blowing any fuses or anything. Here in a little bit I may pull out the Lichtenberg and wet down a piece of wood and see what we can do with that, because I'd like to get a little higher heat on it than I am with that 5 amp and still not worry about blowing the breaker, you know what I mean? But get a little better burn, maybe a little faster, because it takes a long time to do it on 13 volts or whatever it is I'm using on that small one. But it does get the job done. So, but we'll do some testing and playing with that in other areas. And I can hook that up to my drill press. You know, I can hook that up to my drill press and slow my drill press down. Now it's a variable speed drill press, but it's a Porter cable and it's just a cheap Lowe's drill press. So I can plug my drill press into that, and I can control my speed of my drill press with it too. But the problem that I'm seeing right now as far as the speed control is, the way you're controlling the speed is by lowering the voltage. Well, if you lower the voltage, then the motor goes from this much of a horsepower motor down to this much of a horsepower motor. And so if you notice, when I was running the belt grinder, if I had it real low, I could just reach over with my hand and stop the thing. So you're losing power. So it's going to be kind of a trial and error thing to see just what we can do with it. I mean, if I want to turn the drill press on lower speed, maybe when I bring it down and come into my material, it'll stop because it's not getting enough voltage for the power, you know, to run the motor. But I can change the speed on my drill press with the belt system up in the top too, just by changing belts around. So thanks for being here once again. I appreciate y'all watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't really have any reason to have a channel. So really appreciate you being able to share all my little projects with you and stuff. And again, you know, I'm not here to teach anybody how to do anything. This is just strictly for entertainment, for you to kick back and watch me make mistakes and screw things up and sometimes get things right, and you just have fun with it. So but if you pick something up along the way that I'm doing that's useful to you, great. But we're really not here to teach anybody how to do anything. But now on this unboxing and testing, I will tell you, if you want to get a Variac, don't waste your money on a 5 amp unless you're going to run a model train set or, you know, slot cars or something like that that doesn't require a lot of amperage, because that 5 amp fuse just doesn't take much. When you turn that up, you can only go so far, you'll blow that fuse. So if you really want one that you can use and turn up a little bit, get that 20 amp one. That's a better way to go. So again, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you watching. I got some more things I got to get done today, and we're gonna go check on them scales here in a little bit. My brother seems to think that polyester resin will cure in about an hour or two. So hopefully it does, because I'd really like to be able to get them scales where I can make this paring knife for Bob's wife. So thanks for being here. Take care of yourselves. Get out to your shop and do something. Have a beautiful rest of your day, night, whatever time it is where you are. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell and get notified when I upload new videos and what have you. So Take care, guys. We'll see you on the next one.